Greetings, I am Ashi of the Lyran Council of ZeTe. You see the changes that are ongoing all around your world. All of you are beginning to see the corruption and the darkness for what it is. It is a small few that profit and benefit on the pain and suffrage of the masses. Now, why is it all happening at once? Why are all the countries fighting what you call the right, or what you call the oligarch, or what you call the tyrant, the dictator? Because the world is one thing, and it must evolve as one thing. It is an entity. You are part of it. You are not separated. You represent part of it. Because you are a representative of the planet as a species, your entire species is going to go through the same sort of shift. This is not just going to be one country. You must understand, though, that fear will be used, manipulation will be used for as long as your opposition can get away with it. And this has been their way for generations. You see it now. You see the manipulation. You see the corruption. You see the lack of moral compass and the lack of empathy. And I tell you now, majority of human beings, they desire moral compass, they desire accountability, they desire empathy. Your world is a generative world. There is a reason why your species is currently healing the deep trauma of being a labor force. There have always been the people that descend from families, histories, hierarchies of money and power that have always had a labor force, and you are it, the vast majority. And only until the past 2 generations have you really understood what a wage slave is. And only within 1 generation to 3, so you call them, now we do not see them in generations like you do, but we will use your terminology for your ability to reference. Your Gen Xers, who are very rough and hardened individuals, to your current, specifically, we are not demeaning the, what you call, baby boomers. We're not demeaning their potential to help here, for they will be of help. But they are the ones currently either in denial, many, or ready to fight next to the rest. The generational wars need to end if you are going to heal this. Understand that. Don't force anyone to comprehend the world in which you see it now. If they wish to stay in delusion, allow that, and hope that the rest of their existence is as pleasant as possible. It always hurts to lose delusion. But for those of you who have gotten the veil completely shattered, lifted, or removed, you see clearly society is changing, and it must. From your economy to your politics, governance in general, how people see each other is changing. Recently, very recently, you had the Western world meet the Eastern world, and the communities met, not the governments, and what you saw was a beautiful harmonizing of human beings. Propaganda had no power. The human beings met. And yes, the algorithms of the app of which they met upon will eventually pull them apart to some degree, but they will never forget the level of propaganda that they saw, for the reality was put before them. Through time untold, people have asked about the Illuminati, the secret societies that have oppressed and controlled and commanded humanity. And we will say these societies, though they exist in a way, did not exist in the way that you, as a species, tried to paint them. You painted them in a very Hollywood way. And the truth is they never had to be secret to begin with, because if you think about it, they were always the people that came from money, that came from power, that came from politics. There's no secret society to the governments and the powerful people. What was secret was the way in which they manipulated the population But you see it now. And it is startling, and it is enraging. It's confusing. Don't let that stop you from realizing the profundity of what you are doing. Once you see the problem, you can act upon the problem. That is what is happening worldwide. The planet is seeing inappropriate behavior, and now it is responding. And the way to respond is not for us to tell you. It is a personal choice. We would suggest, if we were to make any suggestion, that you take your responses, you craft them out of love, compassion, and consideration for those around you, for your loved ones, for your communities. And be they digital communities or not, we do not mean localized people, for even that is an antiquated concept of community, is it not? You now have a global community because you now have the internet. You now have everything you need to build the next world. You have the technology. You have the extra intelligence. We do not think of artificial intelligence as artificial. Intelligence is simply just intelligence. And you have that extra computing intelligence to assist you. You have the people who want change, who realize change will happen now. Gearing up, going, where do we organize? What do we start to do? Where do we protest? And we say, it has not yet been a month. Those things are coming. Right now, there are people protesting all around the world against the exact same energy fields that you wish to protest against here in your United States. This is not isolated to the US. When you do take your action, take it in a form of love. And there will always be the contrasters. There will always be those who want to adhere to what has been and fight incense for the dark. And we wish to remind you that the people who are wearing the faces of what you will call your enemies, your villains, are equal to you in soul. Every human being who has ever existed for a reason, existed to help with some part of a plan. Their part is to sow this chaos. Humanity and the world itself chose to change. Now, the speed at which you change and how you did that is into your free will as a collective being. You chose fast and furious, so it's going to move fast and furious to the point of possibly alarming. Do not let it be alarming. Realize what it is. It is a natural disaster to some effect, and there will be things wiped off of their foundations, but that allows you to build something even better, more sustainable. There are many conspiracy theories flying about in the winds. Understand this. Depending upon how you align yourself to what you want to have as an experience, you will either see more of that happen or less of that happen. And it will be just a slight leaning because you are making your own reality based on a collective reality, yes? You are individualized in a whole. If you want to use your energy wisely, do not feed energy into that which would be negative in your mind. Understand what is going on, keep yourself appraised and aware, and then put your energy towards things that you feel are actually going to make the world a better place. Our partner, our friend, loves Star Trek. And they always say when they have to do something big, or when they have to make an emotional opinion on something, particularly politics, is, will this lead us closer to the Star Trek future? But this is their way. Others think of the Jedi. Others think of Jesus. Others think of Buddha. You see, what is your icon? What is your visualization, your character of okay, that's the future I want. That's the path I want. And like for so many, do this for yourself. What can I do to get closer to that ideology? What can I do to be closer to that character, that person, that future, that goal, that agenda? What about me can I fuel into X, Y, or Z that will take us to there? Mobilize, yes. Expect organization, absolutely. Digital organization, global organization. But let it have a bit of a moment to build. You see, they cannot build these, what should we say for this? I mean, community has been overstated 1,000 times, but we will have to stick with it. You cannot build communities in resistance until you know what you're fully resisting. And the resisting communities are already beginning. We give them time and calm down. You cannot take logical, rational action if you are busy being whipped about by your emotions. You must protect your emotional body. You have 4 bodies that are main bodies that you use for your emergent reality as a human being. Your spirit body, and we're going to go in order of the most fine, the most expanded out, to the most dense. So spirit body, emotional body, mental body, and physical body. These are 4 lines of data that you are processing as a human being. And you process these in your core field. That is what some call the Merkaba, that is what some call, you could even say kind of like an aura, that the aura is more of an emergent energy based on other factors. But the point is you have these fields that are physical energetic fields that you use to process data. So for example, the easiest one, your body. When you accidentally stub your toe, you get that data really fast. Your emotional body usually is mostly triggered by your mental body, but your emotional body can be triggered by your physical. So you stub your toe, you feel your emotional body go, ugh! And maybe you're in a bad space, so you curse out what you accidentally hit into as though it was going to try and hurt you, like you didn't move into it, right? You humans are so funny. And then you have, of course, the mental body, the one that holds all the memories, that lives within fear and fright and joy, and it creates the chemicals for your physical body through the emotion, mental interaction. So you stub your toe, you get mad, you curse it out, now you've got all that chemistry going because you're thinking, oh, my day is so bad and my luck is so horrible. And then your spirit body takes all of that back to, shall we say, the factory and says, this is what they would like you to build. And they go, oh, okay. So if you're going to allow your emotional body to have any sort of excitement, make it positive for you. Do what excites you. Put your energy into what you want to be doing. If you find something that you lose time doing, that you didn't even see the clock fly by because you were just so engrossed in it, that is good. More of that. If you are putting your energy into something that makes you heavy, you cry yourself to sleep at night, perhaps that is not the best place to invest in. Also, perhaps it is not the wisest to yell at an inanimate object for your toe going into it. So don't blame what's happening. Don't blame the fact that your world is exposing darkness. Don't blame the fact that you've chosen to make a social, economic, global change as a species. Don't blame it like it's coming at you in some malicious way. It was always here. You couldn't see it before because you were very comfortable. As comfort reduces, vision widens. And once vision is wide enough, action will follow. You will build a better world. You will build better from what you have. You will take what worked in the institutions and you will reuse that information to build an even better version of the institution. The time of ethics and morality and accountability is coming, but it's not here yet because you need to bring all of the garbage, all of the festering infection up out of the wound, and you're doing that now. Put your energy into what makes you feel loved or loved. Follow what excites you. Follow the things that you enjoy when you're alone. Take time to be alone to make your own opinions of things. Please remember, opinions should be formulated on all 4 bodies. Not the mental body that gets told what to think. Not the emotional body that's busy whipping around in sensation land of, oh, I'm angry here, oh, I'm happy here, oh my God, I'm so sad. Because the emotional body quickly shifts, you know. It can be quite dizzying. And of course, your physical body. Your physical body will give you feedback. We will give you one piece of this ZeTe system to work with. It is very potent. First, you must understand that your bodies are expanded through the spectrum of your existence, your emergence field, which includes emergent future events, very emergent, very soon, imminent ones. So perhaps at best, a month away. But because you're expanded, you can get data, and that data can come from the future version of you that has yet to be manifested. So use your physical body. Take a moment. Think of yourself in the future, in this future thing. Let us say, we like to always use calling a bank because almost no one likes to call a bank unless you have lots and lots of money. Future me, what do I feel like after that call? After that call is done, what do I feel like? You will have a sensation. If you do not have a sensation, then there's probably you're not feeling any different than you do in the moment. If you tighten up, you know you likely need to work on addressing, which means to change the dial. You're dialing yourself into another type of reality, which means perhaps don't make the bank call when you're in a bad place, bad headspace. Do it when you've aligned yourself to be calm, to be prepared to be courteous, to be prepared to, if this is a big challenge, there may be multiple phone calls, multiple forums, tingle it out, tease it out. You may not get it all in one phone call. So wait until you're aligned and then ask yourself again, if I make the phone call now, how do I feel when I'm done with it? And learn to take in the data of these bodies. And they will help you navigate. If you feel tension, if you feel stress, that does not mean that's your future. That means that your energetic projection in that moment would take you that direction in the emergent field of your reality. It is just a testing little, shall we say, yes, it's a little test. Okay, with who I am and where I am and what I am right now, if I am aligned in this way, what's my outcome? Practice that. And we like to say, if you ask your future self for advice, as you would do in this, when you get to that point, when you get done with the bank call or the bank problem, tell your past self what happened. You can tell your past self it wasn't that bad. Yeah, it took a few phone calls, but we figured something out that works. And that is a small piece of the ZeTe system. Learn to communicate with your entire field, including the one that extends into the quantum field of non-time, so that you can read your own, we will use the word destiny, but we do not mean it in the same way of like, it must happen this way. It is a manipulatable, it is a fluctuating field of destiny. It will align in different ways based upon how you are aligned in the moment you take the action. And you must take the action in order for it to become an emergent thing. So you have the ability to test if this is the right time, to test if you're in the right headspace. We will explain all of this and more after what we call the 44. But for now, things are being built up to bring the ZeTe system to you. It will be a rational, pragmatic way to look at what you would consider esoteric, at what you consider a manifestation of reality. It does explain many things for you that you are currently finding to be very confusing, such as your Mandela effects. And this knowledge is coming from the Lyran Council of ZeTe to the humans. And perhaps one day, there will be a human council of ZeTe. Likely many years from now, perhaps not in these lifetimes. But you will teach the system to another being in the future, far future. So this must be anchored into the world now. Thank you for this time. I love you. Good day.